What's the relationship between consumption and Washington, D.C.? Consumption is not just an economic issue. Consumption is one of the things that drives our foreign policy and drives our significance, our influence on the world scene. It's what we bring to the table internationally. The United States represents 14% of the world's population, and we buy from 40% of the world's population. They're dependent on us for their wealth creation. They're determining that as we've maxed out our credit cards, as we've maxed out our credit lines, as we've maxed out our home loans, we can't be their future. In fact, it is our willingness to overconsume that produces trade surpluses other places in the world, and those trade surpluses end up feeding back into our budget deficits. It is with those trade surpluses that they're buying our treasuries. If it wasn't for our consumption, there would be no money with which to buy our treasuries and subsidize a bloated budget here in Washington. What happens when the consumer capitulates is that there's no longer the cash flow necessary to buy U.S. treasuries. And it means that we come to, very quickly, a funding crisis here in the U.S. This is one of the things that pressures the bond market, and over the next few years causes interest rates to rise that much more. Sentiment has already changed. This is not a future event. We've seen in the last decade a picture of confidence lost. If you look at the price movement of gold over the last decade, what you see is people opting out of U.S. dollars and a U.S. dollar-centric system.